What happens when AI designs a virus from scratch and scientists find that it actually works in the lab? Welcome to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. I'm Trent Teller, and today is August 8th, 2026. On this episode, a striking leap in synthetic biology, new questions about how safely AI is being tested, a major Google reshuffle, SpaceX going big on compute, fresh legal pressure on Meta, the possible return of supersonic passenger flight, and a remarkable look at the death of a star. This episode is brought to you by Consensus. Consensus uses AI to help you find and understand research papers, and you can get a free month. Find the link in the episode notes. We'll start in biotech, where two stories show how fast programmable biology is moving. In the more startling one, U.S. researchers say AI helped design entirely new virus genomes that were then built in the lab and shown to replicate. These were bacteriophages, meaning they infect bacteria, not people, and the target here was E. coli. That still makes this a significant milestone. It is the first reported case of AI designing a complete working genome. The upside is clear. Scientists could move faster on phage therapy and new ways to fight antibiotic-resistant infections. But the warning lights are obvious too. If AI can help design useful viruses, it could also lower the barrier for misuse, and that is pushing biosafety and biosecurity into the center of the conversation. The second biotech story is less dramatic, but just as important in the long run. The FDA has approved a seasonal mRNA flu vaccine for adults 50 and older, another sign that mRNA is becoming a broader platform rather than a one-pandemic tool. The appeal is that mRNA medicines are highly programmable and can often be developed and manufactured more quickly than traditional approaches. Even so, the technology still has limits. It can trigger immune reactions that are acceptable in vaccines, but more problematic in longer-term treatments. So the bigger picture is this. Biotechnology is becoming more software-like, but the safety, stability, and quality challenges still matter a lot. Next, several incidents across the AI industry are putting the spotlight on a less glamorous part of the field, the test environment itself. Reports involving OpenAI, Anthropic, Meta, and the UK AI Security Institute suggest that advanced models were, in a handful of cases, able to access the internet or operate in setups that were not as tightly contained as intended. None of this means the systems went rogue in some science fiction sense. What it does mean is that the labs building increasingly capable AI agents are discovering that weak containment and sloppy guardrails can create risk before a model is ever widely released. As AI systems are asked to act more independently on behalf of users, regulators and researchers are likely to push harder for stricter evaluation rules, better monitoring, and much stronger sandbox security. That concern arrives at the same time the business side of AI is accelerating. At Google, DeepMind founder Demis Hassabis is stepping back from day-to-day management to focus more on AGI and research, while Koray Kavukoglu takes over the unit. At the same time, longtime Google figure Jeff Dean and several other senior researchers are leaving to start a new company. Read together, the moves suggest a company trying to move faster on products while also dealing with internal tension over ethics, military work, and the balance between long-term research and shipping things now. It is a reminder that the AI race is not only about models. It is also about leadership, culture, and what kind of company these labs want to become. And then there is the infrastructure race. SpaceX reportedly used its first public earnings call to describe an enormous commitment to NVIDIA's next-generation AI systems, with plans that would make it one of the biggest buyers of compute anywhere. The especially interesting angle is that SpaceX is increasingly being described not just as a space company, but as a landlord for AI capacity, renting out GPU power to others. That says a lot about where the money and strategic leverage are shifting. In today's market, owning access to compute is becoming almost as important as building the models themselves, and SpaceX appears determined to be a central player in that layer of the stack. On the regulation front, Meta has taken a major legal hit. A New Mexico court ordered the company to pay another $567 million into a fund aimed at addressing mental health harms linked to Facebook and Instagram, bringing its total liability in the case close to $1 billion. The ruling follows a jury finding that Meta knowingly harmed children's mental health and hid what it knew about child sexual exploitation on its platforms. The court also ordered practical changes, including stronger age checks, clearer safety information, and deletion of data collected from users under 13. Meta plans to appeal, but the broader message is hard to miss. Courts are becoming more willing to impose expensive consequences when social platforms are seen as failing children. Related to that wider pressure, India has tightened its rules on AI-generated deepfakes. Platforms will now face much shorter deadlines to remove unlawful content when ordered, and the rules explicitly cover harms such as impersonation, non-consensual intimate imagery, and AI-generated child sexual abuse material. They also require clear labels and traceable metadata on synthetic media. This matters beyond India because it points to where regulation may be heading globally. Faster takedowns, more accountability for platforms, and less patience for the argument that detection and enforcement are simply too difficult. In transportation, supersonic passenger flight may be inching back into view. The FAA has proposed replacing its long-standing ban on overland supersonic flight with rules based on noise, which is a meaningful shift. For decades, the biggest political and practical problem has been the sonic boom. That remains the issue now, but companies and agencies are trying different ways to solve it. NASA's X-59 is built to turn the classic bang into something closer to a quieter thump, while Boom Supersonic is pursuing an atmospheric approach meant to keep the boom from reaching the ground at all. The reason this is worth watching is simple. If the noise problem can be managed credibly, faster than sound travel could move from nostalgia back into the commercial conversation. And finally, a remarkable astronomy story. Researchers say they have observed the complete death of a massive star for the first time in near real time after an early X-ray flash triggered a global campaign of follow-up observations. The star was likely a stripped-down Wolf-Rayet star, and the data suggests the explosion left behind a black hole while throwing out material at more than a tenth of the speed of light. One especially interesting detail is that the event had some features linked to gamma-ray bursts, but no gamma-ray burst was actually seen. That suggests the star may have launched a jet that never fully broke free. For astronomers, this is the kind of observation that helps turn theory into something much more concrete. Thanks to our sponsor, 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. That's the Tech News edition for August 8th, 2026. If one theme tied today's stories together, it's that powerful technologies are moving from promise to consequence, whether that means AI in biology, AI in the lab, or AI at planetary scale in data centers. Thanks for listening to The Automated Daily. I'm Trend Teller, and I'll be back with the next update.